Why does it look like that?
You're live.
No,
Where's it pointing at? It looks like it's
not working.
well, it is, but it's capturing something weird.
There it is. What did you do?
I didn't do anything.
Oh, that's weird. That was kind of strange.
We're like newbies.
Check it out. It's weird colored, huh?
Yeah.
Hmm.
I wonder how it looks on.
Are you on? Let's see. We turn it a little more.
Hi
Maybe.
guys. Anybody there?
That's better there, huh?
Can anybody see us? Can anybody hear us?
Cray Universe, RB.
Hey
John
Trey. Hey Wendy.
Combs. Does it look okay? For some reason, it doesn't look as good as normal. Canadian Twigs here.
Canadian Twig.
Already got 3 thumbs up. That's pretty good.
Off to a good start.
Yeah.
For whatever reason, this isn't working for me. Oh well, hi guys.
It's going to be a different kind of night tonight.
This is what I'm getting.
Why are you not getting it?
I don't know. That's why I was asking if everyone's able to see us and hear us.
Everything looks good.
I don't know.
I gave you a thumb. We are you and hear you. We are you and hear you.
We hear you.
It says we are you and hear you.
We hear you.
We hear you. Hi, Doug.
Hey, Dougie.
I'm going to have to call you, or you're going to think I don't love you anymore. Yeah, let's see there. Oops. Okay. Just got to let people get here. This is probably not going to be a good video tonight for Jason.
Night, Jason.
Well,
it's not my idea. Just say that.
Yeah,
Disclaimer.
It's my idea. I'm just to the point with some things that
we are here.
Just think they need to be said.
So what's the truth? What's the truth bomb, Yanni says?
Well, you'll find out here in a few minutes. But yeah, life is changing.
I'm leaving Bill. Clickbait.
You are? No, clickbait would be as like if I filmed you taking a shower. That's a clickbait.
I thought you wanted
that.
subscribers.
What are you trying to get rid of me?
No, but I may get up and walk away.
It's not going to be that bad. It's nothing you haven't heard 100 times before.
1,000. Oh, we just dropped 5 subscribers.
Did we? Yeah.
The suspense is killing us.
Well, I mean, I don't know what's going on with YouTube. I have no idea. But I don't care anymore. Tell you the truth. I don't care what they think. So I'm just going to say what I think and what I believe, and you know what? Let things fall the way they fall. We basically have probably somewhere in the area of about 400 or 500 pretty loyal people that watch us. And the rest of the people are just people that subscribed and forgot about us. So, I don't know. I think quality is much better than quantity. It doesn't matter how many people subscribe to you. It's how many people. What I got going on here? I gotta turn that off. Um, it's how many people watch you. That's what makes a big difference. And I am going to start off with the danger part of tonight because there is a lot of danger out there. And for people that are on the road right now and driving on the road, there's a lot of hazards. Um, there's been a lot of flooding all over the country. Weather's been all screwed up. Um, you get into the big cities, there's a lot of violence. And to tell you the truth, a lot of RVers are kind of targeted. You're not the propagandists on the big media channels are not telling you what's going on. Things are happening every day, and you're just not hearing about it. You might be living it. If you're living it, then you know about it. If you're not living it, then you probably don't know about it. But it's getting worse and worse and worse out on the road, and that's why we're kind of staying put. Um, we have we've been on the road a long time. We've never had a problem, and we don't want to have one, huh? Um, actually, I shouldn't say we've never had a problem. We almost had a problem in Tucson this last year. That was pretty unusual, and I kind of see that kind of stuff. What? Excuse me. You know what that is?
Trouble.
Come here. Come on. Anyway, anyway, my thoughts on this stuff is that if you're going to travel and you're going to be out there, you need to be more aware than you ever have, and especially just driving. People are not paying attention to what's going on. There's water soak, went in the dog dish, water bowl. I'm not throwing it when it's wet. He hit it. He jumped up and hit it.
He's trying to bring some levity to the evening.
Yeah. No, he's trying to interrupt. Come here. Come up here. People might want to see you. But we have a lot of people that are not legal in this country driving and causing accidents, and nothing is being done about it. Is this going to work with him? Look at that. He's just staring me down and making noise every time I talk. Anyway, I don't want to be Mr. Negative about things, but I'm actually even around here sometimes where we're at, which I think is probably one of the safest places in the country, is I think there could be some problems. You're seeing more and more. We're actually seeing some homeless guys around here, which I've never seen before, um, and they're just kind of scavengers scavenging around, and just have to be careful to protect your stuff and protect yourselves. Um, I find it. I find a lot of danger going to medical places anymore. I mean, we kind of met a new doctor this last week, and I don't know. I'm still trying to evaluate whether I'm comfortable around him or not. He's another. We everybody had to wear masks and all these different things. I mean, the mask mandate is over. Everybody knows the mask didn't work. The the uh, the vacations that people had to take are causing all kinds of problems. People are dying from those things. Um, there's just a lot of things that are happening in this world right now that shouldn't be happening. And there's only one thing different from 2 years ago till now, and that is the person in charge. That's the problem. and things have changed, and things are getting worse and worse. And we're going to go through a really hard time this winter. Food is going to become a very difficult thing to come by. So if you have a way to store food and start getting things set up for yourself, I see people dropping off. Anyway, if you have a way to store things and get things set up for yourselves, do that. Definitely want to do it. Um, we're in a situation, we're kind of in a little bit of a race to get the shed done. It's been a very slow process, and a lot of it is just getting the materials. I'm trying to find tin and all this stuff, and it can be very difficult around here sometimes. All of a sudden, when you want something, it's worth 10 times what it should be. When you don't care about it, it's cheap, and that's just the way things are going. So we'd like to get our shed set up, um, become more self-sufficient. We'd like to get our garden going. There's a lot of things we'd like to start. What are you doing? He wants the ball, but that ball's all wet.
It's because you threw it in the dog water.
No, he hit it with his nose. He bumped it. I didn't throw it that far. Let me see if I can drive for him. Anyway, um, I've been thinking about things a lot lately. I've had I've had this kind of knowledge for a long time. I've known a lot of things that are not really good things that go on in this world, only because of where I've been in my life and certain circumstances. Also, by being self-employed, I've had businesses just destroyed where they were doing really good, and then all of a sudden one person changes, and the next thing I know, everything is destroyed. We went through kind of a circumstance like this back in the 70s, which Darla and I were in our 20s and our 70s. What is he doing over there? Anyway, odd and even gas, and they were, we were headed for this big ice age and all this bull crap. It has nothing, you know, this ESG. I don't know if you guys know what that is, but it's environmental, social, and governmental, and it's all corporations and government and everybody getting together. And the way they're going to solve all the problems of the world is they're going to tax us to death. That's what they're going to do. They're going to take every penny we make until we have nothing and we're happy. And that's what they've even told people. You're going to own nothing and you're going to be happy. And I don't know how that works, but they've tried this little experiment all over the world. It never works. Go if the people that believe that, go down to Venezuela or talk to my buddy Ernie, who's from Cuba, and they will tell you the truth about what this is. Down, they make they're making baskets out of the currency in Venezuela because baskets are more valuable than the currency. So that'll kind of tell you what is he doing, or it's you. You're throwing the ball. Anyway,
Hi, Mark. Hi, Teresa.
hi guys.
Basically, tonight should have been titled "Screw the Analytics."
Yeah, yeah. I mean, lately it's very disturbing. I can't even go on Facebook. I went on Facebook today just to put that, or yesterday actually, to put that little tagline on there, and I figured it would probably throw some people from not coming on. And thank you for speaking the truth. Well, I'm glad some people appreciate that because I'll tell you, um, I lived a lifestyle as a motorcycle guy, and I saw how oppressive the police could be, and it's not all the police, but now it's becoming more and more. Um, the government is just out of freaking control, man, and the government has basically three functions, and that's to secure the borders, to maintain an army to protect our country, and to do some stuff like building roads and stuff. It's they've got all this weirdo stuff trying to get our children to change their sexual thing. You can't take a 10-year-old kid and chop their body all up when they're 10 years old, because when they turn 15 or they turn 20, they may not have the same thoughts. They may wish they had those things so they can live a normal life, but they'll never be normal again. And a lot of people like that go through that process are killing themselves. But you don't hear that. See, they don't tell the truth. What they do is they tell propaganda. And I recommend for anybody that's never seen it, you should watch the movie 1984. It's a really old movie, but it kind of gives you an idea of what we're going through right now. And it's winding up. It's getting worse and worse and worse. You know, I watched the thing the other day, not very much of it, but I watched Biden had a rally, and he had it in a high school gym, and he couldn't even fill that. He couldn't fill that. This is a man that got 81 million votes, more than any president, more than Obama, more than Trump, more than anybody, and he can't fill a high school gymnasium. So I'm sorry, I just don't believe that he won the presidency. And if I get thrown off of YouTube, I don't care. I have
Well, everyone seems to agree with you that's on here
really
so far.
well. I think a lot of people on here are smart people. That's what I think. I think especially people that are close to our age. You've seen what has gone on. You've gone through the phases. We've lived through a lot of recessions, and now we're getting ready for a really deep depression. And I remember talking to people when I was a young man that had gone through the depression. And I mean, right before that, it was the Roaring Twenties. The country was doing great. They were controlling spending. They were knocking down taxes and they were cutting back on government, and the country just thrived. Well, when the next, I can't remember, what was it, Roosevelt, I guess it was, that got in there and started doing all these crazy ideas. And they just keep trying to do the same thing over and over and over again. And, do you think that by eliminating gas and natural gas or propane, you know, right now, electric power, as far as the windmills and the solar panels and all that stuff, is about 3% of our power. And what's the answer? We need to get everybody into an electric car. And why is that? So nobody can go anywhere. They made an RV, a motorhome. You could travel up to 100 miles in a day with using solar panels to run your engine in your motorhome. I mean, that's crazy. I mean, you can't even get out of town. I mean, you get 50 miles out, you're like, maybe I need to go back because how long is it going to take to charge these batteries? It's not going to work. They show these electric cars being charged by generators. It's not going to work. They tried electric cars back in the early 1900s, and the gas-powered cars won out. We have enough gasoline, or oil in this country, which is not dinosaurs. Okay, everybody wants you to think it's dinosaurs. It's not dinosaur. It's something that the earth produces. It's a natural thing. When we were kids, we lived near a town called Santa Fe Springs, and Santa Fe Springs was nothing but oil wells. And all of a sudden, one day, the oil dried up. So they went out there and they tore down everything and they capped all the oil wells off and they started building tilt up buildings. And then all of a sudden one day they started looking behind these tilt up buildings, and there was all this black stuff coming out of the pipes. Well, the oil fields were filled with oil again. So they started putting the pumps back on them, and to this day they're still pumping oil out of there. So it's not, I mean, if it was a finite amount, it would have been gone a long time ago. It's not. It reproduces, it repopulates, or however you want to say it. The oil comes back and refills.
Hi to everybody that recently tuned in. I see you all. Jack Mitchell, Teresa, Patty, Charlie Porch, Phil Presnell, Terry Burns. Thank you guys, all you.
Well, the truth bomb, I mean, we're going to come back and touch on this again a little more. Hey, Terry, I don't know if you want to be here. You might. Anyway, the truth bomb is it comes down to good and evil, God and Satan. That's what it is. They want our children. They want to kill us. They want to starve us. I've been telling people for 20 plus years that this day would come, and the execution, the style of execution they'll use is starvation. It's one of the most horrible things to watch. Ask the Jews; they went through it. Um, our government is dirty. It's a dirty organization. Um, I I've seen where judges have been bought off, and you see people go to jail and spend 20 years for nothing. And somebody that's got a lot of money. I mean, how come Hunter Biden? How come we're not going in and breaking into his house? Why aren't we doing that? Why aren't we going in and investigating why Hillary destroyed all those that servers and all the cell phones? Why aren't we doing that? I mean, it's not just the Republicans too. There's a lot of Republicans I can't stand either. But right now it seems like the Democrats are in charge for some reason because they have the House and the Senate and the presidency. And you can see with your own blind eyes what's going on in this country. You walk into the store and you see how the shelves are getting emptier. You go to the gas station. I mean, we had some of the cheapest fuel in the country here. Diesel's back up over $5 a gallon here, and gasoline's around 3.60 a gallon. So it's climbing. They were out there touting about all how everything got so the gas was going down and all this stuff. Well, you know what? Now it's going back up, and it's going to go up a lot higher this time. Everybody got it's going down. It's only $3.60 a gallon. Well, now it's starting to go back up again. So pretty soon it'll be $7 a gallon. Then it'll go back down to $6 a gallon. Then they'll go to 10, and it'll just get to a point where I mean, we used to love to take rides all the time, but we kind of have to limit that too, huh?
Yeah,
And
that's
pretty
also
soon
why our RV is parked.
yeah,
We're not going anywhere.
well,
It's at least half the reason why.
and parts are hard to get. I mean, I have been scavenging the country for Rotel oil.
True.
I bought it at probably three or
It's
four
what we
different
use in the
places to get
RV.
it. Yeah, well, we use it here in the generator. Well, I managed to get enough. So now I got to get a filter, and the price of the filters went from $33 to $55. So I'm not real happy about that.
Self
Hi,
sufficiency is the only thing we can count on. That's why we started homesteading.
who said that?
Patty.
Yeah.
We're coming to your house, Patty.
Yeah, we're going to come live off your food. Um,
as long as Bill can bring his own bed.
one thing that we learned a lot about through the RV lifestyle is that people help each other. And, I mean, we we lived in neighborhoods where we only knew a few people, you know. Um, it's when I was a kid, I knew everybody. I mean, my neighborhood didn't end, we just kept going, and I knew everybody around. I mean, I knew the parents, I knew the kids, I knew everybody else. And nowadays, it's not like that anymore. You can live next door to somebody and never talk to them. And luckily, here where we're at, of course, we don't know people on the other side. There's only one person on the other side, but I've talked to the guy, the son that lives there. But for the most part, I mean, we know our neighbors right here, but we don't know too many people down the road. Yeah. So,
like they know about us.
yeah. Well, everybody knows about us because of the
Because
motorhome.
it's a small town and we're new. So,
yeah. So, um, I want to make a recommendation to people, and I don't normally tell people to do things unless I do it myself. But you need to get some silver, gold, um, because this paper money is going to be, you're going to be making baskets out of it here pretty soon. Um, I remember when I was a young man and I was working a good job and I was making money. I went to the bank and I said I want $100 bill, and they go $100 bill, and they say, yeah, well, we got a couple. So they gave me a $100 bill, and I had some other money. Well, when I ran out of that other money, I tried to buy stuff with that $100 bill, and it wasn't happening. Nobody had change for a $100 bill. Now, every time we go somewhere, it's a $100 bill. I mean, money just goes like this, man. It just goes like this. Um, and we're on Social Security, so if we don't have some kind of little gig going on, it's going to start getting really tight. We've had a savings account for a while, but you never have enough, especially in these circumstances. So the secret that I found is if you buy some gold or silver, it right now silver is really low. I mean, I don't know what the price was today, but the other day was $19. And when you get done, the spot price and everything, you're going to pay around $25. Everybody's got to make a little money on it. But you buy that for $25 and you keep it. And then when things get really, really tough and you have a $100 bill and the guy says, no, that ain't enough, you got to have 50 of those to buy that. Well, I'm just buying groceries. I know, but you got to have 50 of those, and tomorrow you'll need to have 60. You pull out a round of that silver, and that guy is going to have a different attitude because silver has always had a value. And the way silver has always worked pretty much is the value of silver and gasoline. You can always buy 10 gallons of gas with 1 ounce of silver. And it's a little iffy right now, but it's because the economy is so whacked out and they have suppressed the value of silver for a long time. There's been some shenanigans with that for a long time.
CXH is Chris and Kirsten. Hey guys.
Chris and
I was
Kirsten,
wondering
yeah.
who that was because
Well,
I've not seen you on here before.
they're living. They're not in Florida anymore.
Where are they now?
They're in New York.
You guys, I can't keep track of you. We'll have to talk.
Yeah, he does. They don't want to talk. They don't like to talk to you. They talk to me.
Oh, okay.
They told me not to tell you.
Okay. Hey, Mega Van Mike. People are commenting.
Yeah.
They're going after the Amish.
Yeah. Have you seen that?
Patty says when they come over, they got a garden and a spot to park. Ew, I thought it was thundering.
Yeah.
It's like really windy outside.
Is it? Oh, my awning's still up. Where is it? Yeah. Yeah, it's still there.
You got it tied down?
Oh, yeah. Everything's tied down. So, anyway, hello, Mega Van Mike. Wow, I heard that.
You heard that?
That's Starla's knees chattering. So,
people stopped driving as much because it was too expensive, Mark says.
Yeah, I mean, I'll tell you what, all you need to know, if you want to know what not to do, then don't do what we do. Because every time we do something, we do the RV, of course, we're like even Nomadic Fanatic, he's been out here 11 years, and we've been out here 12 years. We're about to start our 13th year.
Well, living in an RV.
We still live in an RV, anymore. But, the thing about it is, where do you go? They're closing campgrounds, and the campgrounds that are open are just booked out. I mean, they're really booked out, but those are mostly weekend warriors that are doing that.
That was not Bill's stomach. Bill had excellent meatloaf, mashed potatoes, string beans, and corn. It's delicious.
Yeah, that's what I had for dinner. You guys wouldn't like it. It's not very
Mark
good.
said he thought that was your stomach.
No, I just farted. Yeah. Anyway, so I know some people out there think I'm crazy, but I'm going to tell you a truth. Here's a truth. If we don't win 2020, we're not going to win 2022. Okay. I know that a bunch of people won primaries and stuff like that, but we're not going to win the 2022. We're not going to win in November. There's no way. And the reason is because the ballot boxes are still there, the Dominion machines are still there, all the things that they used before are still there. So all they'll do is they'll just fire it right back up and they'll do it again. They don't care. They don't care about you. They don't care about any of us. They care about themselves. That's all they care about. And they're out to destroy this country. They're doing a really good job of it. What would you do? What could you do that would make this country worse? You're destroying the school system. You're destroying the food system. You're destroying oil and gas. You're destroying building houses. You're destroying all these different industries. You're shipping all the jobs over. You've opened the border up. You're letting people in. They want us all to get vaccinated, and they're not doing that to the people crossing the border. They're letting them go in this country, millions of them, millions, not hundreds, maybe hundreds of millions, but not millions, millions. That was thunder. He's all goofed out tonight.
Because of the weather.
So I know I'm kind of ragging on here. I hope, I don't mean to offend anybody, and I hope it's kind of why I made the little thing in the beginning because I know some people were not going to really dig it. But um, you know, I'm coming. My life. I'm 66 years old. It's not going to be much longer for me. I mean, what do I have? 10 years, maybe. I don't know. I don't know what I have. That's up to God. But I'll tell you what. I'd sure like to see a better place for my kids and my grandkids, and it's just not that way. It's just not that way, and there's so many people that are just doing bad things. I mean, crime is just you got to stay away from the cities. Let me see. You're almost as old
Yes.
as dirt. I think I said that
Yes.
last. Yeah. Well, yeah. Um, see, the thing is, I never thought I was going to live this long, and ow, darn it, that was my foot. I know you didn't mean to do it.
He's like, well,
Yeah, I'll
play
do it
with
again.
me.
Yeah, well, that's the truth bomb, Terry. You know, Terry and I, we actually met in Kentucky, and we had some of these discussions. So he knows what I'm talking about. But um, tell you what, man, it's getting to be a scary place, and I'm really concerned for my kids and my grandkids. Um, Darla and I've lived a long time, and of course, they don't want us. We're what they call useless eaters. They have names for everybody, you know, and I've always told you that the reason why they don't like RVers is they want to be able to walk up and knock on the door and have five IRS agents come through the door with guns. They want you to be standing on the other side of the door when they knock on it. And they don't like motorcycle people because motorcycle people kind of live by their own rules. I mean, one of the things with motorcycle people, you don't dial 911, you deal with the problems yourself. Um, that's that's how that lifestyle works, supposedly. But that's even kind of becoming corrupted. So I remember the old days where there was a lot of loyalty and a lot of respect and that kind of stuff. And even that's a lot of things are changing. I mean, you just got to know things are changing, and whether we can get it back. I've been telling people for a long time, everything we know is a lie. Everything we know, our history, you know, they're sending an unmanned rocket ship to the moon, and they have the the mannequins. They have mannequins in there, and the mannequins. One mannequin is got test equipment. They're testing for radiation. Um, when I was a kid in high school, and I grew up in Downey, California, there was North American Rockwell, and they had a lot to do with the Apollo 11, all the Apollo missions. And I was in the marching band at school, and we went there and played when Neil Armstrong and the Apollo 11 astronauts came there. We got to meet them, and it was like a big thing in my life. I don't believe we ever went to the moon now because there's a radiation belt out there that will kill anybody that tries to go through it. So, and there's all kinds of things that you can look up and see how these spaceships, the little thing that landed on the moon and all that, that thing was not capable of doing that. So, and if you don't believe me, that's fine. But do some research and find out. Try to figure out both sides of it. I mean, they there was a guy that was going around interviewing all the astronauts that said that they landed and walked on the moon, and he asked them to swear on the Bible that they actually landed on the moon and walked on the moon, and none of them would do it. This one guy said he would because he didn't believe in the Bible, and then he hit the guy. So, but Neil Armstrong said no, and at the end of Neil Armstrong's life, he did admit that they didn't land on the moon. But you'll never see, you don't see that because the thing was that was a way to take money away from the American people. In the beginning, there was all this. Yes, everybody was into it, and Kennedy was all for it, but they didn't know the hazards of going up there. And when they started figuring out what was going on, then all of a sudden they knew they couldn't do it.
We
But they
only
were hooked on the
know
money.
what we're told unless we experience it with our own eyes and ears.
Well, you can't even believe that anymore. With all the CGI and all that stuff. I guess if somebody's standing right in front of you and you see something, I mean, you're personally there, not like watching this. I mean, this could be CGI. I could not be a real person. You don't know. Maybe I've been doing this for making up like the Wizard of Oz. Huh.
Do not look behind
But Darla's real. I'm not real.
Tankful 78. That's the way I feel. Or see it going to the moon.
Well, we're going to see what happens. But they have, like I said, they had one test dummy up there that had all this equipment on them that was going to tell how much radiation was absorbed into the dummy, and then the one next to it has a suit on that they think will protect the astronauts. Well, the astronauts didn't have those suits back in 1969. I guarantee you, they were having a hard time just keeping them where they could breathe. Now, I mean, they orbited the Earth, but a lot of this stuff is phony baloney, and it's all about separating us from our money. You know, um, just like with all this electric, the Earth is an electromagnetic deal, and Tesla was out to prove that. And what happened to him? They destroyed him. Try to make a little carburetor to make it where your car gets 100 miles to a gallon. That won't work. And it's not because they keep saying it's the oil company's fault. Who makes the most money off a gallon of gas? Does anybody know?
The government.
Government. Correct. You're correct. They don't have anything to do with production other than trying to stop it. They don't have any part of the transportation, and they don't have any part of the selling. But they tax it to death.
Hi, Jack Connors. Taxes. Yes.
Yep. So
Patty says, is he real or is he Memorex?
yeah, no one knows.
Your age is showing, Patty.
Yeah. She saw that on a VHS tape. She was listening to her 8-track.
Trust me, y'all, he's real.
Yeah. So buy some silver. That's a recommendation I'm going to give. Um, I just bought a whole bunch myself. We've been collecting silver for a long time, But I feel like right now, if you have an extra $1,000, spend it on silver because it will be $1,000 or more that you're going to have in the future. If you don't have something like that, because there's just not going to be. I used to think, well, you buy motorcycles and stuff like that, but if there's no gasoline, and they're saying they're going to cut it off, and that's just another industry. It's Teresa. It's
Yeah.
another industry that's going to go away. They're about destroying everything that makes money in this country. And I don't know. A lot of these small corporations right now are screaming, "Hey, you're wiping us out here." And the reason why they're doing that is because it's about them, and it's a small group of people. You know, the Congress didn't have to take the vaccine. The Congress doesn't doesn't do Social Security. They don't have our medical system. They have this super high thing. The government was never meant to be on that level. Period. They were not supposed to be there. That's not what they were supposed to do. They were supposed to go there and spend a couple of years and not even be there full time like they are and go back to their district. I tell you, if the senators and congressmen were walking around in Walmart, and most people don't even know who their congressman or senator is, but if you know and you see the guy, you can walk right up to him and say, "Hey, dude, why are you doing this? Why are you voting for that?" So they don't want that. They don't want you. They want to stay there in Washington and have all their little parties and make all this money. They make all this money. These wars are all about money. I mean, what are we doing over there? Why are we over there putting $400 billion building walls so that Ukraine isn't invaded? When we got an invasion going on down here in our southern border, it cost but a few million, maybe a billion or two to finish it, and we keep and I'm not against immigration, and I'm not racist against anybody. But I'll tell you what, I have I have friends that came to this country legally, and they say right now if they were waiting in line, they would just go and come over here under the and cross over because it doesn't do you any good to wait. There's no benefit to it. You see what they're doing down there, Abbott in Texas. He's loading them up, sending them in buses to Washington D.C. and all this stuff, and they're turning them around now. They're stopping the buses and sending them other places. So, and here's my next thing: global warming. Global warming. It's really funny how the seas are going to rise. But you know who lives at the beach? Biden, Obama, all these bigwigs. Al Gore, he's got a place in Malibu. He's got one of the biggest mansions around in Tennessee. I mean, these people, that's because he's not worried about the water rising. But these guys are all living at the beach. They've been telling us for the last 25 years that we're all going to be underwater. It's all BS. It's all a lie. The 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 Earth has reciprocal weather. It goes warmer, goes colder. They can't control. Well, they do actually. I should say they can't control the weather because they do have certain amount of control over the weather. They, I believe in the chemtrail thing. I've seen too much evidence.
Psychedelics were probably used on the astronauts to make them believe they went. Possibly. I don't know. I think they just got paid big money to say they did.
That would have been better if they gave everyone psychedelics to watch it and believe it. You know what I mean?
Part of having electric cars and making the gasoline car dinosaur is about control. So we can't just drive across the country and go wherever we want. We'll be limited to how far we travel daily.
Well, they could shut them off.
Yeah. I'll stay until it doesn't work for me in the oil fields, Teresa says. Hey, yeah. Rhonda, welcome. Duck hunters, why no term limits on them? Why?
Because they're the ones that have to do it.
I don't know why we can't pass that law that you were supposed to serve your
they've tried
constituents and then go home.
They have actually tried it in some states. It would have to be on a state by state thing. But
One of the properties.
why
of
do they
silver
continue
is,
to be able to do insider trading like Pelosi always does? Why are they able to do that? Because they want to, and there's laws against it, but nobody. You know, they say the average person does 3 felonies a day. That's how many laws there are, and when this country started, there were 10 laws. 10. See my dirty hands. I've been working on motorcycles. 10 laws is all there were, and now there's just I don't know. They don't even know how many laws there are. Just all these books. There's rooms full of books full of laws, and they say that the average person does 3 felonies a day. So, and eventually they'll be busting us for those felonies. They're going to be hounding us. You know, you don't hire 87,000 IRS agents and arm them when we can't even buy ammunition. They want to take our guns away. At the same time, they're arming these thugs. And you don't pay your taxes, they'll just shoot you. They won't have. And we had a partner a long, long time ago, back in the 80s and 90s, and this guy embezzled a bunch of money from us, and we had $11,000 tax.
He actually stole a check,
Yeah,
forged Bill's signature, and took our quarterly taxes.
he was taken
employees.
off. He was taken off of the checking accounts. He
Yeah.
couldn't, and he had my secretary forge my signature for UPS, and because I wasn't there, and then and then he was able to go over and cash an $11,000 check, and we went to pay the taxes, and the money was gone, and he had no excuse. He just said, "Well, I needed the money," and I go, "Well, for what?" He said, "Well, I just needed the money."
It took us 7 years to pay that back.
Yeah, $58,000, and that was in '80s and in '90s money. And I'll tell you what, man, they sat at our dining room table, and she would say, "Well, my kids are starting school."
No,
Your kids?
We didn't even have kids in school at that time.
Yeah.
We were having our kids; they were all babies.
But you couldn't buy shoes.
Couldn't buy diapers.
And
they said, "Have your family help you."
Can't you borrow money from someone?
And at that time, every single person in my family that could have helped was going through tax problems, which I find really weird looking back on it. All at the same time. It's a little coinky dinky, shall we say?
What is this? It'll never happen. Are they talking to each other or what?
I don't have that on mine.
Well,
is that something you have to okay? I
no,
don't see it.
No, it's there.
I don't have it. Who said it?
I don't know. No, it was Paul, John Connor.
Oh, it'll never happen. Poor Paul spent 2 days, a total of 11 hours. Nice, huh?
Yeah. Well, back in the 70s,
Convention of States movement circulating.
Actually, in the early 70s, we were in high school, and they're always telling us about the coming ice age and how we needed to get rid of fossil fuels and all. This is not a new game that they're playing. This
I'm not
is the
sure.
same game.
Sorry, Kevin, but I'm not sure what you were talking about. But he said one of the properties of silver is that it's antimicrobial also. That's right. It is. It is. When we were talking about metals.
Yeah.
Teresa says in the 70s we're going to see an ice age in 12 years.
Yeah.
Yep. The flag's on the moon. You can see it from the telescope. That's the one thing I'm not agreeing with you on tonight, which is pretty amazing.
Well,
throughout history, the Earth has gone through changes and has been through ice ages. So, well, at least that's what we're told. I don't know who really does. Yeah. I used to drink beer, worked on Apollo mission. I used to drink beer and worked on the Apollo mission. Myron Priest. I remember when they told you to just keep paying them. Yes. And they would let you know how much you owed when they got around to figuring it out. Yes, Patty lived that with us. Patty and John did. Terms for senators.
Well, I know the.
Yeah.
the moon thing is, it was a tough thing for me to swallow, but I've just seen too much evidence that if someone if there were four guys in that rocket they sent off today, they would be dead. They would not survive that trip. So I mean, back in the day, they had no way of knowing what was going to happen to them, and I don't know. I just I've just seen too much evidence, and I've seen these astronauts that I was kind of looked up to, not able to explain. They just say, well, they don't want to talk about it. They don't they one of the things about them are is they make a lot of money going and speaking. They make a lot of money doing speaking engagements, and when they get approached on that, man, they don't want to talk about it because it would ruin their ability to make money. So they're not going to tell the truth. Plus, they have a thing where they really can't do it. But
In the science before it was political, they discovered that the Earth can and will handle so much more CO2. The plants need it to make oxygen.
does anyone remember when we were taking out the ozone layer? Remember that?
There was a hole in it.
That was a big hole. We were
It was
destroying
from
the ozone.
fluorocarbons.
Yeah.
Hairspray.
What happened to that? That it didn't work, see? So they had to find something else. I mean, we had global warming, now we have climate change. Okay? So
First we had ice age coming. Then we had global
right.
warming. And now they just call it climate change.
They call it climate change. And the thing is um, yeah, climate's changed right now. We'd had lightning and thunder. It was looked like it was going to rain. Climate's changing all the time. Changes every day. Temperature goes up. Temperature goes down. Climate change tonight. It'd be cooler tonight than it was all day. I don't know. Um, a lot of it is real confusing because there's so much of it out there, and I haven't even touched on the worst parts. And
we need Art Bell back.
need
my
what?
Gosh, I'm old. We need Art Bell back.
Yeah. Coast to coast.
Lightning makes ozone.
Yeah. Well, a lot of things make ozone.
It is and always will change.
Right. One thing about change is it's always changing. So, and
hey, but it's all taxable.
and I guess probably the reason why I wanted to do this little talk tonight, so I don't really consider it a rant. I think a rant is when you're angry. I am a little angry. I'm a lot angry for my grandchildren and for my kids and for my family and my friends and for you guys that are on here watching right now. I'm angry that our government is willing to sacrifice us for themselves. Um, this depopulation thing going on. I mean, a lot of things are going. I mean, you gotta, man. Darla and I never got vaxxed, never got it, and there's still, if you want to go here, you want to be in school, or there's all different kinds of reasons why they try to get you to do that, and they know that it's a bad thing. That mRNA thing is a bad thing. So they've changed up how they create these viruses. There was a big thing. There was thousands of people this weekend that were protesting Bill Gates and want him arrested. See that on the news? Does anyone still watch the news? Um, his family's a bunch of crazies too. His dad, his parents, they were a bunch of crazies. They were all tied up with the crazies back in the early 1900s, and he's carrying it on. That dude is, I mean, he's not a doctor, he's nothing, but he's got a lot to do with this thing that's going on. Um,
Teresa said she had a rant on Facebook the other night. Okay, so what about the International Space Station? You must think that doesn't exist either. I hate that so many of my loved ones got the jab. Ditto, Teresa. If you could change it, we would be gazillionaires. True.
Um,
I think the thing that bothers me the most about this conversation right here, and I've told Bill this 100 times, is we talk about it, talk about it, talk about it. People are not happy with the way things are, but nobody has a plan. Nobody has a leader to take that plan and change anything. And so here we sit and we let this many people govern what happens to our world and to our future. And that's what irritates me. We could talk about it all day long and all night long, and we could get booted off of YouTube for it, but it's not gonna fix anything, and that's what gripes me the most. Nobody has a plan.
well, the thing
Nobody
is,
has a leader to do it.
is if people are informed and have an understanding of what's going on, and when things do happen, when something happens, something big happens, they'll have some awareness of why it's happening, and then they'll have an idea what to do. But if you have no idea what's going on and you're
But a
just
lot of people do have an idea what's going on. But everybody's just so focused on putting one foot in front of the next to try to make
a
their
lot more
life
people
work.
a lot more people are learning about what's going on, but then you know for a fact because of what happened a while back to me where two ladies got all up in my face because they have a complete opposite um, thought pattern of what than I do, and
You get shut down if you have
I got
differing
shut down.
opinions.
You know,
And that's how they keep the conversation from happening.
and that's how we get to this point because we are being censored. Okay, we're being censored. If you think that you have the First Amendment, you're crazy. We don't have it anymore. We have to we have to be careful on this that we don't get shut down. How can I have the First Amendment if somebody could be telling lies every single day and they promote it and they put it on algorithm, they just run it out there. But a guy like me tries to tell a little bit of the truth and they threaten to take me off the air. I mean, look at how many people have been removed. You know, um, I think I'll know things are changing when I see a couple people going to jail. That's one of the things that will tell me because they've been trying to get rid of Trump. But I mean, if you haven't done anything wrong and you got people on your side, it's hard to arrest you. But people are actually doing things wrong and they have evidence of it. They don't even check it out. It's like, nope, we're not going to look into that. That's not something we do. Ah, he jumped. Who jumped? He was pushed. I don't know what they're talking about now. If we could change it, we would be gazillionaires. But you know what? To me, I don't care about the money as much as I would just like I say. I would just like everybody to be able to live their own life. I am the type of person. Darla and I were when we first got married. I had a job and I had a couple of jobs, and I told her I always had businesses as a kid, and I just told her I said we're gonna have our own business, and we started with nothing and we built a business and made a lot of money and then we let other people be involved with our business. The next thing I know, we lost a lot of
That
money.
was an expensive lesson.
Yeah, but we got a lesson. So we kind of learned that partners is not a good thing. Not a good thing. Not something I really want to experience in the future either. So, I mean, that's what right now we want to work and earn the money and pay our taxes and build our buildings so that we could have our own shop. And I already have a clientele started around here. People are already saying, "Oh yeah, are you guys going to start the shop?" Had a guy say that to me the other day. So, of course, sports are driving me crazy, but Anyway, if we could ever get things rolling, we tried to have a. I didn't get any checks this week from last week. Remember, we were
I
gonna
know.
start
What's up
sending
with
us all
that?
these. No, we don't want the money.
I told you they sent them out with no stamps on them.
You know what? If the price of silver came up to the price that it should be, I could build my building today.
There is no accountability. True that. True that. Unless it's Bill and Darla McLean, then we gotta pay for everything.
You're not allowed to debate anything anymore. If you do, you are a racist or worse. It is a name calling. You. It
Go
is
to
a name
jail.
call. Yeah, you go to jail. Well, and I have nothing against anybody of any color or anything, as long as they're not trying to hurt me or someone I love or take my stuff or that kind of stuff. Man, live and let live. I don't care. I'll be their friend. I mean, I'll see them, shake their hand, hug them. I don't care. I was in the motorcycle world. You guys know that. Jinx was the president of Chosen Few, which was a black club, and he was a good buddy of mine, man. And I used to have some of the other clubs say, you should be hanging around with him, and I go, don't tell me who to hang around with. I'll hang around with who I want.
Bill
I always
Clinton's
stood up.
Bill Clinton's favorite word, if,
Yeah, no, it's is.
is. What's the definition?
What's the
What's the
definition of
definition of
is?
is?
Is
Yeah.
yeah. Well, see,
Sorry, I had to pay my taxes.
and he got a little, and then he was right back at it. So we did a little thing over here. I don't think we've ever told anyone, but we did a little thing on the Mina airport, and that's where a bunch of drugs were coming into this country, and a lot of heavy stuff went on over there. We did a little video on it, and we got a. How did it come? Did it come?
It was in a comment on the video.
A guy from India said, "You guys are on the radar. You need to be careful." So I don't want to end up being a friend of the Clintons because you know what happens to them.
Yeah, we do pass the railroad tracks
Yeah.
every day.
5 bullets to the back of the head. Worst case of suicide they've ever seen.
Yes, Jack.
The
Yeah,
last
if is close enough, but we knew what you meant.
the last guy that died that was a friend of the Clintons, he hung himself and then shot himself in the chest with a shotgun. How do you do that?
What airport, Jack? The Mina
Yeah, Mina Airport.
Regional, I think it's called.
Yeah.
Mina, Arkansas.
So around here, not too many people talk about it. It's not something you want to talk about. And we thought we were just doing a cool little, just kind of playing around, and then it got a little threatening, and
You guys
it
are
makes
great.
you
I'm
think.
glad you're speaking your truth. It's very important. Thanks, Myron. Common sense and putting two and two together. People don't use it anymore. Tankful 78. Okay, I'm a pilot. Jack, you're a pilot. You don't know about Mina
Yeah,
Airport?
they got a bunch of old jets sitting over there that they scrapped out, stripped them down for parts. I guess I don't know. We didn't really know.
Okay.
Oh, okay. I'm a pilot. No.
Oh,
Um,
okay, Jack, you're not a pilot.
I'm from Connecticut. I don't know the whole story over there. Um, there was some guy in town or something over here that was all involved in it, and some young guys got
Barry Seals.
yeah some guys got murdered. They saw what young kids got murdered. Like
They saw
60.
some offloading going on.
They
at
saw
the
something
airport.
going on, and they murdered them,
They
put them
think.
on the railroad tracks, and
Kids grew up here. They grew up
Yeah.
in this community.
yeah. So, well, the airport here is like the Clintons had the runway extended so they could land these jets here.
Teresa, they started the new math so young people can't add 2 + 2. So new math started when we were in 4th grade, and that was confusing enough. New math. Now they have Common Core math. That's a whole other animal. I can add 2 + 2.
Yeah, well,
It's hard, but we can do it.
The thing
Common
is,
Core is where they really messed up our kids.
and look at what they're doing to our kids. They graduate from high school and they can't read their diploma. They can't read it.
They can't read cursive. They can't read the Declaration of
Right.
Independence. Right.
That's another reason why they do that. They got an ulterior motive for everything they do, and it usually is making people dumber so they can take more money from them.
Jack, are you saying 2 + 2 is 5? 5? Can you explain how you came to that answer, sir?
If you can, you get an A. So when my son went to elementary school for 2 years, right? And I think it was the first grade
It was
where
actually
the
3 years.
the teacher, we went in there and the teacher was telling us our kid was stupid
I loved math.
and he was flunking and all this stuff. I looked up at the board and she had misspelled February. And I said to her, I said, well, you're the teacher. Maybe you're not that good a teacher. You can't even spell February.
And she argued with it.
And she looked up there and she goes, she didn't even know she spelled it
It
wrong.
was February.
Yeah. And so the next time we went in for a parent teacher, it was like everything was wonderful and he was done. And I told her, I go, don't patronize me. And she goes, I just don't know how to get through to you. I go, well, you know what? Maybe if you taught my kid instead of sitting there trying to BS me, things would be a whole lot better. What? I loved the math. Had a real rotary phone.
You're old.
I was good at math. I still am good at math. Huh? I do good. The basics: add, subtract, multiply, and divide. Other than that, algebra to me is when you mix letters with numbers, you don't get numbers. You know what I mean? You get a letter that is not supposed to be in there. But I know it's supposed to make you think. That's what algebra was for. I was busy thinking about other things. I was not. All I wanted to be able to do is count my money. What's that? 8.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. We've only been on an hour. You want off? Is everyone ready to end this thing?
What grade did you get in the antique?
I got straight A's in math. That's the only thing though. That music classes and physical ed. That was the only things I got straight A's in. Everything else, history was always seemed so bogus to me.
Because all you had to do was remember dates and places.
Yeah.
It wasn't real.
And English.
The teacher told me I was having so much trouble because I was trying to get it to make sense. Well, duh. You got that right.
I enjoy history. I just didn't enjoy their history, and it seemed like a lot of the stuff in the history books were not that true. So
recess and lunch.
Yeah.
Hey, timer. No, keep going.
Yeah, but the rest of the people probably want out of this torture chamber. But anyway, I hope this has not been too disgusting for everybody. I noticed.
Dangerous.
I noticed that Jason wasn't on here, so
why? That's okay.
he probably got a sense of things. That's why I kind of gave him a little warning. He doesn't watch news. He don't want to know about it.
Because
he was in the military.
Well, because there's just no answer.
Yeah.
Nobody will spearhead. Nobody will take the lead. Nobody will be the person that everybody can get behind, and it's going to take more than just an election.
But what they say is when you know, and that's what I think is going to happen is when things come up. Like I say, if we don't win, if we don't get things straightened out on the 2020 election, we're not going to win this next one, and this will be the last election that we ever do. They'll just take it and say this is the way it's going to be, and it'll be like Venezuela. That's what they're doing. That's what they're trying to do to us. So
I know everybody out there right now that's still on this feed if you thought about your grandparents knowing what happened in our last election and who's running the show today, they literally would roll over in their graves. They would not believe that it could happen, but here we are. It's an embarrassment, honestly.
And it's so upsetting, man. It's so upsetting that
It's angering.
that this guy can't. They call his. He makes what they call them sentence salads because it's just a big mess. They don't. Nobody knows what he's
A
saying.
word salad.
Yeah, word salad.
It's like,
You know, and it's been. He was like that before, and they were giving him some kind of drug, I guess, to try to give him a little bit of comprehension, but you can't even read a teleprompter.
yeah, I miss my dad, and I'm glad he wasn't around to see all this crap. I find it extremely embarrassing. I really do. That what has gone on has been allowed to continue.
Well, and I heard today that they're sending out notices to people that that if they're underperforming channels on YouTube, that they could face being removed. So I'm giving them a reason to remove me. Um, you're supposed to.
Yeah, but at least there's
You're supposed to have a
15
certain.
people on here that know how we feel.
There were
Wait,
17
14,
though.
'cause I'm
There's
one of them.
16. We were up to 20 for a while there, but you know what? They're on these lives when we're done with these lives, they usually pull down between 200 and 300 views, and sometimes a little higher on that. Um, and that's pretty much, I would say, the hardcore people that really watch us on a regular basis. I mean, it's of course I know people that have 300,000 subscribers and they only do 17,000 or 18,000 views. So I mean, you might catch somebody on a day and they click, or it just depends on how they shop you around. You know, they shop you. They take you, and if they think that they can get a lot of views and sell a lot of advertisement on your videos, then what they do, they shop you around and see what happens. And we're just not that exciting. We're
Thank you, Jack.
what?
Glad I found you.
Oh, yeah.
We're glad. We're
We're
glad all
glad
you guys
you
are
found
here.
us too. I
We're
mean,
glad you're all here joining us tonight.
we've been doing these lives now for quite a while, huh? Well,
Yeah.
when we can,
Yeah.
and I don't know. I We run out of things to say because I can't say what I want to say. I'm processing my paperwork so I can vote in this country. This current president is garbage. Say what you mean, okay? Don't hold
YouTube
back.
sucks as a publisher, not a creative platform anymore. It's true.
I remember watching Biden during the Clarence Thomas hearings.
Although he's good at shaking Casper's hand.
Yeah. and he goes to these things, these big meetings with all these heads of state, and they ignore him.
Yeah.
He walks around the room, with his hand out, and nobody's even looking at him. Nobody had talked to him. That's crazy. I mean,
I get mad at his wife too for putting him out there like that. I don't know. I don't know. Have a little respect for your spouse, right?
yeah.
Maybe
Well, I
not.
wish I could tell you what
Hi,
I
Brian.
think. I wish I could tell you what I think I know. But the problem is
It's
everybody
Rumble
would
time, guys.
everybody would think I'm crazy. So um, all I'm going to do is I'm going to say, you know what, I knew all that, but I never told you. And I think I'm going to just say one thing. I think something really big is going to happen here before November. It's got to happen before November because if we do this election, we're going to lose. We're going to lose big. It's going to be all blue. All these people that have won all these primaries and stuff are not going to win. It's going to be all the Democrats winning. They don't care because these primaries have been getting rid of old congressmen and old senators and putting Trump's people in. He's batting about 80%. 80% of the people that he endorses have won. And what's going to happen is when it comes down to where Nancy Pelosi isn't going to be speaker and all that. I mean, even Mitch McConnell said the other day, he says, I'd rather be the leader of the minority than the leader of the majority. Now, why would he say that? I guess because they would rather just get along because basically you got all Mitt Romney and Mazur Smokowski or whatever she is up in Alaska. You got all these senators out there that are either kind of playing both sides or just totally on the Democrat side, and that the dude from Virginia, West Virginia, Manchin, that dude played a whole bunch of stupid games and made it blah blah. It came down to one guy passing that thing, and they changed. It was the Inflation Reduction Act. They changed the name of it already. It's not that anymore. It's about ESG. If you don't know what ESG is, you need to
Tell them what ESG is.
It's environmental, social, and governmental. So it's socialism. It's communism. That's what it is. Socialism is a smiley face on communism. If you think you want communism, go to China, go to Venezuela, go to Cuba, and then come back and tell me that's what you want.
Karen, two babies, 4 grands. It's refreshing to hear someone tell the truth. Teresa says it's elder abuse, plain and simple. How Jill is doing with Joe. Jack says Don Imus was my first boss, so I'm a half a bubble out of plum. The Coke can was more exciting.
Yeah.
As a child of early onset I tried to tell people. Drinking with Paul Pelosi.
Yeah. Well, and look what happened to him. He got 3 days in jail. He got a nothing fine, and basically didn't get in any trouble. Now, if that was you and I, we would be ruined. We would be we would be spending time in jail for a long time, and then when we got out, we wouldn't have a driver's license, and they would just wipe us out financially because of all the stuff. But he's Mr. Inside Trader because his wife gives him all the information. Then he goes and buys stocks and stuff like
Jack
that.
says 2, total 11 hours. Teresa says dementia. Yep. I think it's gone beyond dementia. It's Alzheimer's.
Well, I mean, I feel sorry that he goes out there and says, I mean, he just does not have it together enough to be. I don't think he has anything to do with running this country. I think he's just, they put him out there, they put a thing in front of him, he stands there and tries to read it and has a hard time doing that. And then as soon as he's done, he has to run off the stage if he can figure out which side to run off of.
Like
And
somebody said earlier,
because,
if you can find the White House bathroom.
yeah, if somebody, if he had to answer a question, you wouldn't know what to do.
Martial law coming? Trey says.
Is martial law coming? No, Trey's another one. We've had
Mentions
some
easier to
interesting.
spell.
Well, it will not be martial law. It'll be military law. It'll be the military. That's the only way we're going to save this country. We're not going
That's
to.
what martial law was.
Well, martial law is kind of different, but we won't be able to save this country by voting. There's no way. No way. It's going to be. It's going to have to be the military that does it. And whether we have enough military people anymore or not, I don't know. They're all. It's basically a experiment for, um, you know, sex change operations and stuff like that. I mean, I don't. When they first started putting females in the combat zone, and I thought, bad, bad, bad idea. That's a bad idea because, a woman gets shot. She's out there. She's not dead. She's screaming and crying for help. 2 or 3 guys could lose their life because they're going to go out there and try to save her. And
Why? You don't think a woman could save herself?
I don't know. Um,
military, they alienated them with Afghanistan. That's what the IRS money's for. The
Yeah.
rest for good behavior. She was at the next street. That was me with the bathroom, Jack says. Mark said he's a puppet. True.
Let's talk about some of his
Next
accomplishments.
street for me. That's where Nancy was.
He's shut down the pipeline. He left Afghanistan with billions and billions of dollars worth of military assets there. And there's still American people that are stuck in Afghanistan. They're not doing anything for them. Let's see. He's managed to take gasoline from $1.78 a gallon as high as $6, $7 a gallon in California. He's you guys could add some stuff on there. Hey, there's Randy Wilson.
Hi, Randy Wilson.
He's
taken away student debt.
He didn't take it away. He just took it. He just transferred it to us. And how's that? See,
open pipeline.
I mean, everything he does is bad. I mean, he's gonna give a little bit of a discount to these people, and we're going to be paying for it. And we didn't even go to college, and we're going to be paying for somebody else to go to get these women's studies and all these ridiculous. Well, most of them don't even do anything anymore. The colleges don't teach nothing. You know, they got the Harvard and Yale and all those big colleges have hundreds of billions of dollars in the bank.
It's a payoff to them.
They can pay their people. They can pay just clean those debts free.
Wide open borders.
Wide open borders. Ukraine, which is
the vax.
Yeah, Ukraine is nothing but a money laundering situation. $40 billion goes over,
what all
and it comes back, and all the congressmen and senators are counting their money. Well, what are we going to do this again? Well, we'll do it next week. Keep doing it. I watched the thing the other day where the Ukraine soldiers were actually saying, we have no boots, we have no guns, we have no bullets, and all this money is coming over here, and we don't have anything to fight this war. So
then there's the WHO.
Who?
World Health Organization.
And then Fauci, another real winner. Of course, he's retiring. See, I think if I hear one more time, red wave in November.
And me too. Just wiped out.
We're not going to see
$326.1 billion of student loan debt in the next 10 years.
Yeah.
It's nice to know that you're very much aware, and I'm very much aware, and we think a lot alike. Stay positive, find the little things in life to keep us going. You're speaking truth.
Well, I think what I want to do is I want to go and get a bunch of credit cards and run them up to the max, and then have a congressman say, hey, we should pay off Bill's credit cards for him. And
Wait.
And we'll make everyone on here pay for it.
What's your last name? Oh, McLean, forget it.
And then we'll make all you guys pay it off for me.
How's that? And all of theirs.
Oh, terrible. It's terrible.
Anyway, you know what? That's why I like being where we're at, because it's beautiful. So you get up in the morning, and at least you have that.
Except beautiful. I don't have my squirrel
The squirrels
circus.
will be back. It's okay. The squirrels are on TV. They're on MSNBC.
Yeah.
CNBC. All those. Myron Priest, so true. Yes.
Well, like I say, I'm kind of apologizing for having gone down this road tonight. We'll get back to the same boring stuff next week, but I just thought I needed to say something.
Back to your regularly scheduled.
Yeah, I think we're getting really, really close to something really, really big. I mean, big. I'm talking about
end times.
Who
knows? Honestly, I think we got a long way more to go for that. It's bad now, but it's going to get worse.
The temple's not built.
There's a lot of things that haven't.
We haven't had the big war in the Middle East.
Why, Jack Connors? Why what?
Yeah, there's things that haven't happened yet. I try to read the Bible every day, and I'll give a word of advice to people, that something that was given to me a long time ago. And that is start in the beginning of the Bible. And whether you're a believer or not, just read it. Just read it. It's a history book. It will teach you a lot about yourself and it teach you a lot about people. But start in the beginning, and go all the way to the end. And I'm in my eighth time going through it where I've read it. And sometimes it takes me a year and a half to read it. But I try to read at least a part of a chapter or a whole chapter or whatever. I do what I want to do with that. I've read it through many times, and every time when I start to read something, I go, "Oh, okay, that pops for me," because I've read it enough where I remember it comes back to me. Right now I'm in Mark, and Jesus is in the Garden of Gethsemane, and he just got to basically take it. So that's where I'm at, and I mean I understand that somebody sacrificed for me, and I mean I had some real problems in my life, and if it hadn't been for the guy upstairs, man, I would not be here because I was told I wasn't going to live into my 30s, and I made it. So, and I think a lot of that is because of a big lifestyle change. And I mean, I'm paying the price for a lot of what I did with the diabetes and all that kind of stuff. But you know, luckily I quit before I pushed it too far because I've watched people drink themselves to death and everything else, and that's not a
Who
fun thing
had
to
to
watch.
sharpen all those chisels? Oh, you mean to write
Yeah,
the?
the Bible.
Yeah. Didn't they write it on scrolls? We were talking about the Ten Commandments on the stones.
Yeah. Well,
That
there
was
were
the
two
hand of
sets of
God.
those made.
Yeah, yeah, because he broke the first one.
Broke the first set.
God wrote this.
Yeah. Well, and I saw an interesting thing about that a while back because I've always told people, you don't think God can write a book, huh? You don't think, and because I've had people say, I don't trust the
I wasn't
Bible,
around.
and I just say, well, you don't think God can write a book? I can build, he can make this. You believe that he made this planet? Well, yeah. Well, he can't write a book, but I watched a thing a while back where there has been some manipulating of that. So you got to be careful. And we used to be churchgoers, and we were in. I mean, I played music in the church, and we got pretty involved. And the pastors always wanted to hang around me because they all had motorcycles. I used to call them the tent dwellers. They have these gigantic houses, and they have these motorcycles and hot rods and all this stuff. And then they shut down the food bank in their church. Um, I just don't like it. I don't like it when I
But
see it.
that's a show for another night,
Yeah,
folks.
when I see a church, I like a small
Definitely
church.
a topic for another
I
time.
don't like big churches. They turn me off. They got a coffee shop and a bookstore.
The mega churches.
Yeah,
It's hard to. Yeah.
and I mean, and I was right there. I was right there. I was. They always say Satan comes in the back door through the music ministry, and I seen a lot of weird stuff in the music ministry, and I just
Egos.
went there to play my music and play the music for everybody in the church. That's all I went there for. I did was not trying to be a showman, and I didn't change keys because my voice was a little weird and stuff like that.
Like I said, it's the show for another night.
We've lived a lot of things. I've lived a lot of things. I mean, a lot of things. She has watched me live a lot of things and shook her head. So, I mean, no, we've been married, but I mean, I up until last probably 20 years, I kind of really cooled my heels.
I have sore knuckles from the nuns, Jack Connor says.
Oh yeah. Well, I never. See,
Yours was a Nazarene youth pastor or something like that, associate pastor.
yeah, but we fixed his car up real nice. Um, we
A
watched
show for another night.
my neighbor in my neighborhood. They built a Nazarene church. And we were going over there when they were building it. You know, everybody, we were on our bicycles and stuff. I mean, we were young. We were probably 12, 13 years old. And the associate pastor, we went, and this guy was beating up on us. I mean, he was probably in his mid 20s, late 20s, and he was beating up on us. And
Because you were a bunch of young hooligans with no parental control.
so we just destroyed his freaking car, just destroyed it one night. And then things got out that he beat his wife, and I mean, basically, they came in and got rid of everybody that had anything to do with the leadership of that church.
You know why?
All
Because the
do.
church is full of sinners.
Yeah, but you kind of think the pastors
It's a
would
hospital for the sick.
have it a little under control.
You
You know what I mean?
You
But they don't.
Again, this is
They
a show
don't.
for another night. But I will just say, you can't put all your trust in a human being. I don't care if they're the Pope. I mean,
Oh well, especially
the head of any church. I don't care if it's the biggest church in the land. You just can't, because they're human and they're fallible.
you want to see
they're
something.
sinful, just like me and you.
You want to see something interesting? Go on Google and type in the Catholic Vatican Church that looks like a snake, and when you look at it, you'll see what I'm talking about. It'll freak you out. Has anyone seen that? If you have, raise your hand.
Raise your hand.
It's got the
Everybody's Googling it right
eyeballs
now.
and the whole. It's shaped like the head of a snake. Looking at you, it's bizarro. I mean, a lot of stuff they put it right in your
That is true. They're
face.
very blatant
They
about
put
it.
it right in your face.
And you just don't even see it.
They do it in movies. They do it in
Speech,
they do it in
this.
what? Yeah, that's 666. That's what that's supposed to be. But we watched a thing where all these stars were doing that. They do it over their black eyes. That's another thing, the black eye thing.
Yeah.
What did Tamar say that she's not kidding? I'm missing a lot of stuff going on here.
Tamar.
You're not kidding.
Wow, that was way up there, Jack, if you're talking to Tamar. Although he is good at shaking Casper's hand. That's the last thing. Where are you guys at? Randy, we are...
Don't tell him. He's probably IRS.
We're
Clinton.
We're in Arkansas.
We're in Mena, Arkansas. How's that? Yeah, actually, around here, there's still kind of regular people.
True. What if Mellow Cat's on here?
Nah.
Mellow
By the
Cat?
way, Teresa, we got canceled out on the Quartzite thing. So, see, a lot of changes are going on, and our jobs are kind of like floating away. So, I could actually probably get a job around here, but I got to get this foot working, man. This thing is still a mess.
He is going to physical therapy 3 days a week, though. So.
Yeah, it's weird because when they're working that thing, man, they make it hurt.
That's what John's asking
what I'm
you.
saying.
How's the leg? He kind of has a flop kick when he walks. He just kind of swings his foot and it smacks.
Well, my foot only has about like this or this. That's all it has, just a little tiny bit. And they're trying to get
the muscles are atrophying.
They're trying to get it where it has more motion,
range of motion,
and I can actually like hold my foot up and stuff like that. So
that it's even there is a miracle.
It's been a battle, and I'm still battling it. I don't know how much longer.
The thing that I'm most concerned about, honestly, is that he's still on gabapentin for the pain, which is a narcotic.
The last 2 days, I've only taken 2.
Like walking
day,
with flippers on, yes. Just on one foot though.
But
And I do it like this because I can't bend my fingers back the way his toes are going, but they're doing this. His toes are pulling up.
and they're trying to force him down, you know.
Yeah. Which he's supposed to be doing a lot of exercising himself to try to help that situation.
Yeah.
And they do the TENS unit, whatever thing. That's not what they call it, but it's like a TENS unit where they put the pads on his muscle and they try to contract it so that it can wake it up, basically, the nerves and the muscles, and get it going again. And he's supposed to do this on his leg, and he doesn't.
Well, it's way down there. See,
I
we
do
start
what I
talking
can.
about. See, you start talking about
We're
my
losing
foot, and
people.
when people are like, ding, ding, ding. So they're probably checking what's on the news or something.
Teresa said she heard. Was sorry to hear it.
Yeah, well,
I'm lying in a hospital now. Just had rotator cuff surgery. That's why the caps only. I have one arm. That's crazy. I feel for you, Jack. I hope you get better quick.
yeah.
Physical therapy's in your future. I know. If you guys get offered a sweet gate and want to come out to earn some, let me know. I'll personally help you get here. Thanks, Teresa.
Well,
Get a stick.
yeah,
Kane.
James offers me jobs all the time. He he called me on my birthday and we were talking. He said, "Yeah, well, you're probably not going to be doing courtside anymore." And I'm like, "So I'm still talking with Posey." So I don't know. Posey's changing. We skipped what 2 years ago.
Well, that was because of COVID.
I know, but this gal, we've been with Guard One since it started, and this gal's been there a couple of months. So we'll see.
Not Maria. Maria's been there since we've been
Yeah,
there.
it's kind of Maria. Just kind of.
It's whoever the Maria hired.
Yeah, Maria kind of throws us under the bus on occasion. So
whatever.
But you know what?
Tell you what, this girl, she may think she can handle it, but she doesn't know how to live in an RV like we do. So she's not going to know what to tell the people when they ask her.
No, we'll see. Of course, I think they're going to send James with her too. That's what he told me. That he thinks he's going too. So
Quartzsite, the RV place. Yes, Jack. Yes, in Arizona.
Yeah, and then her brother moved from
Havasu.
Lake Havasu, so that's why we would always say like 2 months, because we would spend a month in Quartzsite and then we'd go stay with her brother.
And man, the view.
Yeah, we had a nice view there.
He didn't when we got there. Yeah, but we did.
He got the side of our motorhome to look at.
He didn't care. He loved having us.
But we don't have that anymore. So it's and there's a lot of things going on. Like I said, you guys that are out there traveling, be careful, because I'm hearing that a lot of bad things are happening in big cities, which have always not been a big problem. We always felt pretty safe at Walmarts and stuff, but
ASL folks need to go to bed soon. Met him on the phone. He likes you too.
Yeah, James. James is a great guy. We really, if nothing else, we had some really good memories with him.
That's how I found you. Well, YouTube sent me. I follow all RVers.
Yeah, and price of RVs is starting to really come down.
And properties.
Which
is a sign of the economic picture too.
Properties that are going down are like in certain places. There's around here, everybody's got their stuff up for sale.
Yeah.
It's going to be interesting to see what sells. 6 months ago, you couldn't find anything around here. There was nothing, and And all of a sudden, we come back, and here's a for sale sign there, and there's one here, and there's
Well,
more
like we've
popping
never
up.
seen
Yeah,
that much
more.
stuff for sale.
I was talking to my brother. He says, you know, a lot of people think that they're going to take advantage of it. But I said, well, they're going to do it. They should have did it before they started, you know, doing this other stuff. You're going to see interest rates. People that want to go buy houses are going to pay astronomical. That's what happened in the 70s
Yeah.
with Carter. I think when I bought my house, I was paying like 12.5% interest on my loan, which was crazy.
For in the 70s, yeah.
In the 70s.
End of the 70s. Or mid. About mid.
I bought that house in 77.
Get out of the really big cities, yeah. Going back to Eric's first, Jack says.
Eric's first.
Video?
Oh, yeah.
I don't know.
You talking about Nomadic?
Nomadic? Probably.
He bought another motorcycle. This time it's a Honda Rebel. He still kept his Harley, but he wanted a motorcycle to ride around. So now he's got his smart car and his Honda Rebel and his motorhome. So, yeah, it's the big cities. Oh, man. And I have our oldest daughter lives in a pretty tough city. You know.
Well, I'm done.
Yeah. Well, you guys, we're going to go ahead and sign off.
Let you guys go to bed.
It's been a busy day
you
for
older
me.
folks in Oklahoma, we'll let you go.
Yeah.
Check out. We love you, all of you guys.
Yeah. Thank you for watching us, and let's see if I get any. If we're back next week. If we are, then maybe we could push the envelope a little more. Huh?
Myron, I got 21 years of sobriety, had a spiritual awakening. I thank God I'd love to meet you in person someday. That would be great, Myron, and I'm glad. I'm really glad.
Yeah, let's see.
Carter had
February 4th, it'll be
today. He's done okay for himself.
It'll be 22 years for me, right? Yeah.
Yes.
22.
Hey, Sam loves coffee. Hi. You were lurking around. Good to see you. 1978, we were paying 11.58%. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I said it was around 12%.
Jack, we're glad you're here too. Nice to meet you too.
Hey, you guys.
And everybody else who was just watching, because I know you're there. Thanks for joining us and listening to our
nonsense.
Our truth bomb.
Yeah. Okay. All right, guys. Well, I'm gonna do it.
Take care. Have a good evening. Thanks for tuning in.
Talk to you later. Bye.
Bye.